We'll start our practice today in child's pose, so coming onto all fours, pushing through the heels of your palms, pulling your hips back towards your heels, stretching through the shoulders, resting your forehead down on your mat, just gently closing your eyes. We'll just find our breath here, just your natural breath. Feel the expansion and contraction of your ribcage. And use this time to maybe set an intention, whether it's for yourself, for your practice, or for your day. And just vow that you'll hold yourself to that intention. Taking one more breath here. And we'll slowly shift our body weight onto all fours in a tabletop position with a neutral spine. Stacking your shoulders over your wrists and your hips over your knees, fingertips are tracking forward. As you inhale, we'll drop the belly, gazing up towards the sky. And as you exhale, bring the chin to the chest, arching the back and pushing through the heels of the palms. And inhale, back to cow. As you exhale, back to cat. You can do this in your own time. One more round. And we'll meet back in a neutral spine. From here, we'll tuck our toes under, lifting the knees, pushing up through the palms, pulling the hips back and push into downward dog. You can pedal your feet out here, stretching the calves. You should feel like somebody's pulling you back by the hips. Ultimately trying to pull your heels a little bit closer to the ground. Breathe here. Maybe you want to go up on your tiptoes and come back down. And we'll keep that left foot planted. As you inhale, swing the right leg all the way back towards the sky, opening the hips, bend the right leg at the knee. And we're just going to draw big circles with that right knee in the sky, giving that hip joint a little room to move. Really big circles. And swing that right leg down, plant it in between your hands. Just finding that low lunge here. And we'll bring our left heel down to the ground, having our toes point out to the side. Bring your right hand to the inside of your front foot, extending your left arm up towards the sky, bringing your gaze up towards your fingertips if that's comfortable for you. Feel free to place a block underneath your right hand just to make the stretch a little bit more comfortable for you. And you can stay in this variation, or we can go into a bind, wrapping your left arm behind your back and your right arm underneath your thigh, trying to join the hands, grabbing at the fingertips or the wrists. And we'll bring both hands back down to the ground, rotating that left foot back to the front, dropping the left knee and pointing the toes back. We'll shuffle our right foot to the very outside of our mat, placing the right hand just on the inside of that foot. Drop your right knee open to the side, allowing the side of your foot to make contact with the mat. You have the option to stay here, or you can lower yourself down, bringing your forearms down to the ground. Just deepening that stretch a little bit more. Stay wherever is comfortable for you, and just breathe into it. These hip openers and stretches help to take added stress off of the spine and back. And just breathe here. Allow your eyes to close if that feels right. And to come out of this pose, we'll lift ourselves back to our palms. Gently rock that knee in, sole of the foot coming down. Bring your right hand outside of the foot. Lift that back knee up off the ground. And we'll step back into our downward dog. Taking a moment here Moving to the opposite side, we'll keep our right foot planted this time. Inhale as you swing your left leg back up towards the sky, opening the hips, bending that left leg at the knee, and drawing big circles. Nice and slow circles, giving our hip full range of motion. And sweep that left leg between your hands, planting the foot. And we'll drop the right heel down to the ground, toes point towards the right side, left hand is planted on the inside of your left foot as you extend your right arm up towards the sky, opening the chest, gazing up towards your fingertips. Again, we can stay here, or we can do a back bind, bringing your right arm behind your back, your left one underneath your thigh, trying to bring the fingertips to meet. And we'll release our bind, bringing both hands down to the mat. Left foot is on the outside edge of your palm, dropping that right knee down and opening the left knee towards the side. Feeling your hips open. The sole of your left foot is pointing towards the midline of your body. Relax any tension that you might be holding in your back, and we'll hold this pose for some time, really loosening the hip joints. You can stay here, or you can bring yourself down to your forearms. Breathing deeply into this. The deeper you breathe, the more you'll be able to stretch. If at any time this feels uncomfortable, you can gently ease yourself out of this stretch by either putting blocks underneath your hands or just bringing your left knee a bit more towards the center. And to come out of this, we'll come back onto our palms, bringing the left knee back in, placing the left palm on the outside of that foot. Tuck the right toes under, lift up the knee, step back into high plank. Feel nice and solid here. We'll just lower ourselves down. Knees, chest, chin come down to the ground. Straighten your legs, point your toes. Inhale, lift the chest, pushing up into cobra. Engage your lower back, butt, and thigh muscles. And as you exhale, twist to the right, looking over your right shoulder. And release back to center. Take an inhale here, and we'll twist to the left as you exhale, looking over that left shoulder. And release back to center. We'll push up through our palms into child's pose, bringing the hips back towards the heels. Gently resting your forehead on the mat. You can close your eyes for a moment here. And to come out of this, we'll shift our weight forward, tucking our toes under, lifting the knees, pushing up to downward dog. Inhale as you look towards the top of your mat, and exhale, step or jump towards the top of your mat. Deep bend in the knees. Inhale, sweep your arms up overhead, slight arch in the back, and bring your hands back to heart center. Standing in the center of your mat, facing the long edge, bring your hips a little bit further than hip distance. Inhale as you place your hands on your hips. Exhale as you hinge forward into a standing forward fold, bringing your palms down towards the ground, dropping the head, possibly looking behind you between your legs. Feeling that stretch on your hamstrings. Release any tension in your neck and just let your head hang. Maybe wiggle it side to side. Push up through the palms, straightening at the elbows, flattening the back. Rotate your heels in, pointing your toes out at an angle. Drop the hips down, lift your top half of the body, resting your hands on your thighs, and just lean from side to side. Inhale as you straighten the spine, rest the weight of your body on your arms, and as you exhale, twisting to the left side, looking over your left shoulder, using that right arm to really push off and help you twist a little bit deeper. And we'll release back to center. Inhale as you exhale, twisting to the right side, push off that left hand, looking over your right shoulder, really twisting from the lower back through to the top, and releasing back to center. Again, we'll just lean from left to right. Bringing our hands down to our shins, we'll press our elbows into our knees just to open the hips a little bit more. Feeling that stretch and breathing. Drop both hands down to the mat. Bring your toes in, then your heels in, then your toes in, then your heels in. Drop even lower into a deep squat, bringing hands to heart center, again using your elbows to keep your knees wide. You can sit on a couple of blocks here if it's hard to keep your balance in this low squat. Plant the hands on the ground, lift the bottom up, bring your feet together, and slowly roll all the way up to the top. And we'll move down to the floor, sitting on the mat. Squeeze your knees into the chest, give your knees a big bear hug. Just countering all those hip openers we did. We'll open our legs into a wide straddle position, bringing your feet towards the corners of the mat, sitting up nice and tall, flexing the feet. And we'll point our toes and flex and point and flex. And one more time, point and flex. Inhale, and as you exhale, we'll walk our hands forward on our mat, walking them out as far as we can, lengthening the spine, slowly bringing our nose towards the ground. Just go as far as is comfortable for you. Don't make this uncomfortable. Just enough to feel the deep stretch, and we're going to hang here for a moment. Breathing into it. Maybe you try to walk your fingertips a little bit further with every exhale. You can close your eyes here if that feels comfortable. Push ourselves back up into a tall seated position, still in the straddle. Inhale as you lift your left arm towards the sky, reaching towards the right side as you exhale, keeping your chest open, your left arms by your ear, and just bringing the fingertips towards the right toes. You can use your right hand to pull yourself down a little bit more, just trying to keep both sit bones on the ground though. And we'll release back to center, switching sides. Inhale as you lift your right arm up overhead, and exhale, leaning to the left side over that left knee, grabbing onto your ankle or shin with the left hand to pull yourself down, feeling that stretch on the right torso. Lifting up tall, coming back to center. And one more time, we'll walk our hands out in front of us, maybe going a little bit further than we did the first time. Reaching out as far as we can, feeling the stretch in the hips and pelvis. Release any tension that you're feeling in your body here. we'll push ourselves back up to center. Lift your legs up and bring them to meet each other out in front of you. And we'll do a seated forward bend here just to counter that. Inhale, lift up, reaching out over your feet and grabbing on wherever you land. You can give a little micro bend in your knees if you feel like your legs are still pretty tight. And release your grip, rolling up from that seated forward bend. We'll just roll to our backs now. Laying all the way down, straightening the legs, resting the arms. Bend your left leg at the knee, planting the sole of your left foot on the ground. Cross your right leg over the left one, also bending it. And bring those stacked knees towards your stomach or chest. Grab onto each foot and just pull them downward. You may have to play around with the angle that you pull on your feet just to get that stretch. This is reclining Gomukhasana or cow's face pose. Release our knees down, moving to the opposite side. Bend the right leg at the knee, cross the left one over it with the knee also bent. Bring your stacked knees into the chest, grabbing onto the feet with each hand and pulling them down or maybe in towards you. That's where you feel the stretch. And just holding it here. It's good to cross your legs like this after you've done a lot of hip openers in your practice, just to balance it out. And we'll release our knees. Keep both feet planted on the ground with the bend in the knees. Bring your arms out at shoulder height. Inhale, and as you exhale, we're just going to twist both those knees down to the left side, looking over our right shoulder. Just for a mini twist in the back here. And we'll roll our knees back to center, rolling them towards the right side, looking over our left shoulder. And bring the knees both open this time into a butterfly stretch, reclining butterfly. Soles of the feet are together. Both knees together. Bring them in towards your chest. Wrap your arms around your knees. And just give them another hug. Bringing them tightly and closely in towards your stomach or chest. You can roll side to side, nice and gently. You can grab onto the outsides of your feet, pulling your knees in and open for a happy baby. Staying here as long as you need to. And when you're ready, you can bring your legs down. We'll move into our final pose. Straightening both legs out, rolling the tops of the feet to the outside. Your palms are open up towards the sky. You're welcome to put a blanket under your head or maybe a pillow under your knees, or maybe a blanket over you if it's chilly where you are. You want to feel completely relaxed. Breathing in Shavasana, bring your attention to your body. Just feel the weight of your body like you're melting into the ground. Release any tension that you might be holding. Relax the area in your forehead and between the eyebrows. Relax your cheeks. Relax your chest and shoulders, letting them fall towards the ground. Your hips are relaxed, your thighs and your knees, your feet, your fingers feel nice and relaxed. Totally still and quiet. If you start to get pulled in by your thoughts, just gently let them go and bring yourself back to your breath. We're going to drift into complete relaxation, breathing and resting. Keeping our eyes closed, we'll maybe wiggle our fingertips or wiggle the toes to gently bring movement back into the body. Moving the hands. Then we'll stretch our hands and arms up overhead, stretching the whole body out like you do when you wake up in the morning. And just gently rolling onto our side, using our arm as a pillow. And in your own time, you can slowly bring yourself back to a comfortable seated position where your eyes are gently closed. Sitting on your mat, bring your hands to your knees. We'll just breathe here, remembering that intention that you set for yourself at the start of the practice, and remembering to carry it through the rest of your day. Bringing your hands to heart center. Namaste. Thanks, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.